me again. Still casting on stitches for my Peyton's Croy Socks Yoga Socks. Free pattern on the Yarn Inspirations website. Just go to the patterns page and search for yoga socks and you'll see them. There's only one. Alright, now when I first started casting this on, I was going to put all 64 on this one needle, but that's going to be kind of tight. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and divide my stitches onto 3 needles as I'm going. So in order to do that, I know I'm going to have my stitches on 3 needles, and they've already told me in the pattern here, divide onto three needles, so you're going to have 20 on one needle, 20 on the next needle, and 24 on the last needle. So let's see here, let's count how many I've got casted on here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and I've got 23. I'm going to pull those 23, I'm going to pull off 2 of those. So now I have 21. The reason I have 21 is you can't start knitting, casting on to your next needle without already having one on it. You'll see what I mean. Let me show you. Let me pull out my needle here. Alright, okay, I wanna keep casting on. What do? Right? So this is what you do. You have one extra here. And you switch it over purlwise, just slide it over. You're not going this way to slip it over. Putting your points towards each other. You slip over that one stitch. Alright, so now I have one stitch already on this DPN. So now I can cast on. It's easy to continue casting on when you already have one on there. So now I'm going to put 19 more on this. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a little hair in there, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, did I say 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So let's count those. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now I'm going to do one more. So now I've got 2 needles ready to roll. I need to get out one more needle. Okay. Now this one, I'll slip that last stitch, that 21, over to this needle. And then flip it around. So it's kind of fiddly when you do this, but I'm just like that. I like doing it this way. Everybody has their way. You might want to be using a magic loop. Some people like to do magic loop when they make socks on a circular needle. But I like using DPNs. It's fiddly at first, but after you get it set up, it's fine. So now I need 24 on the last needle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eleven, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and they are cast on loosely because that's what the design said I needed to do. So now I've got quite a bit extra of yarn, so I didn't need quite as much as I thought I would, but it's better to have too much than to have too little. So now I'm going to make my tail a little bit shorter because it's too long, so I'm going to trim it just a little bit so it's about 6 inches long. And I'll set this other aside. Maybe I can use that for something else later. Who knows? You never know when you might need a little piece of yarn. So now all my stitches are cast on. I need to join it in the round. So to join it in the round, you need to connect these so that it turns into a triangle like that. So you get the needle that has the yarn from the ball in your right hand, and then you get the last needle over here, and you put it in a triangle. And did you see how I moved my points around so that I have my 2 that I'm working with in the front, and I've got that one extra hanging at the back. So make sure that the yarn from the ball is coming out through the back that way. You don't want it to be coming from the front. Make sure it's coming from the back. And then your tail can just hang down. And what I do, this is the way I like to join it around, I get the last stitch from the last needle. Oh, and make sure it's not twisted. So make sure that all the bottoms of the stitches are on the center of the triangle. Get your last stitch here, bring it over to that needle, and then you're going to get the stitch you just finished casting on over here, and you carry it across to the other needle. So they just switch places. And then you pull your points out a little bit, not too far because you don't want to lose your stitches, and you pull those 2 strands tight, just like that. There. And I'm not going to be using a stitch marker. Some people like to knit a stitch and then put a stitch marker on, but I'm not going to use a stitch marker because my tail hanging down is going to let me know where I've finished each round. So a stitch marker is not necessary for me. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to have a stitch marker, use a stitch marker. There are no knitting police that are going to say, hang on, what are you using a stitch marker for? It's your decision. Alright, so now I'm joining the round. And it says place marker on the first stitch for beginning of round. And like I said, I'm not going to do that because this is my marker. Work 10 rounds in knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So I'll see you in the next video when we work on that. See ya!